This week, we will be focusing our learning on one thing and one thing only, the running record. This assessment tool will be the backbone of your literacy classroom and will inform you of each student's reading knowledge base. The important information you gain from a running record will then determine your planning and instruction for individual, small group, and whole group lessons. I would like for you to begin this week by reading the assigned chapters in our text. And once you have completed this assignment, please continue on to the presentation section in week 4. Before you go any further, I want to let you know that when you are taking a running record, the teacher is a neutral observer. There is absolutely no instruction when you're taking a running record. Once you have completed the running record, then you can go back and discuss a praise point, which is something the child did well, or you could do a couple teaching points where the child had confusion. Now that you are going to be reading about running records, yes, you're going to be thoroughly confused. Do you wonder why in the world running records have to be so specific and tedious? Are you wondering how this can possibly be used in your classroom, especially for those of you in the middle childhood realm? Well, this section is designed to alleviate those fears, answer your questions, and provide you with some practical examples to grab onto. Trust me when I tell you that your ability not only to take a running record, but also to analyze it and plan for teaching will be one of the most important pieces of learning that you will take with you into your first year in the classroom. Most, if not all, reading assessments that you will be asked to give will have some component of running records attached to them. Even at the intermediate level, you will be expected to use this skill. Running records were first created by Marie Clay, whose work you will delve into more in your phonics class. This assessment, the running record, has truly revolutionized educators' understanding of the reading process. When taking a running record, you are able to quickly see which skills and strategies the child has under control and find what he or she struggles with. These understandings should then inform your teaching and instruction. I want you to take some time to view these running record videos. These videos talk about how to correctly code the running records and how to analyze, which is the MSV part. Once you have practiced the little red hen in these first 3 videos, take a look at what the child's strengths were and what struggles were there. When I'm talking about struggles, well, what does the child do when the child's stuck on a word? Does the child just stop? Does the child say, I don't know this word? Does the child look to you to tell them the word? Does the child constantly check the picture? Does the child know when an error is made? If a child is stuck during the running record, you may say, you try. That's it. There's no instruction whatsoever. All right, let's keep looking. You will find a copy of the little red hen text right here that you will need to print out. This is a copy of Marie Clay's running record form. And yes, it is blank because that way you can use it with any text the child is reading. When you do a running record, and you will see this in the videos, your tick marks mimic the layout of the text the child is reading. You tally errors for each line, and you tally self-corrections for each line. When we analyze the errors, that's when we're talking about MSV, or meaning, structure, and visual cues. Does the child use meaning? That's when you ask yourself, does this error make sense? Because we analyze up to and including the error. So does it make sense? Did the child look at the picture for meaning? If so, you circle the M. And you're going to write MSV for every error. You circle what the child used. If the child used structure, you ask, now, does this error sound right? Does it sound like we speak in English? If so, circle the S. The V is, does the error look visually similar to the text? The visual cue has nothing to do with the picture. It is how the word looks. An example of a visual error would be if the actual text said well, W-E-L-L, but the child said will, W-I-L-L. That would be a visual error. This is not something that comes easily, so please don't beat yourself up over this. You're not going to be an expert for a very long time in taking running records and analyzing them. It takes an enormous amount of practice. This is a running record sheet from Fountas and Pinnell, which is probably a leveled literacy intervention text. And you can see that they do supply the print. Again, you're going to count the errors in the row or the self-corrections. You're going to MSV the errors and MSV the self-corrections. Remember, meaning is M. Does it make sense? Structure, does it sound right? Visual, does it look like the text? Here are some additional running record resources. This tells you that the video is unavailable, but if you click here, you'll be able to view it on YouTube.
My job is to make college easier because
your initial response is due Wednesday by 11:59 to the discussion forum, and your peer responses are due by Saturday at 11:59. Many of you are not asking your peers questions in your responses, and you are losing points for that. Please remember that if you put a reference at the end of your post, you have to have cited it in your post. Your discussion forum for this week is that you're going to use the cues, MSV, the child used, and find 2 praise points and 1 teaching point about what the child neglected. Let me say that again because I know that didn't make sense. You're going to look at this running record right here, And then you're going to look at the cues used and the cues neglected. Praise points. 2 things that the child did very well. A teaching point. That's going to be a cue that the child neglected. If you have questions, please ask me. I know I've said this before, but I want to say it again. Not all videos that you find on YouTube are exemplary videos. There are many bad running record videos on YouTube. So please be careful when you are viewing those. If you have questions, please ask me. Thank you.